Hi everyone, this is Boomer for Caravel Gaming and welcome back to Magic 2014. Today we will be taking on the Revenge campaign and Jace. So the deck I have chosen for this particular assignment, deck I choose you, is going to be an expansion deck and it's Dodge and Burn. So we're going to be going blue deck versus blue deck at this, right? I think I'm definitely at an advantage though. As you can see, we're blue-red, but we've got 4 temporal expanses, and now we are pretty much going to show off a load of spells. 2 earthquakes, deal X damage to each creature without flying in each player. 4 remands, 1 colourless and a blue, counter target spell. If that spell is countered, put it into its owner's hand instead of their graveyard and draw a card. 2 Starstorm, X, red, deal X damage to each creature, and it has cycling through, which means you can pay 3 mana, discard it and draw a card. 1 Volcanic Geyser, X, red, deal X damage to target creature or player. So, Geyser. Oi, Geyser! Yeah. 3 Searing Spears, deal 3 damage to target creature or player. 4 Wee Dragonauts. There are only 6 creatures in this deck, by the way. 4 Wee Dragonauts, 1 blue-red, flying, 1/3. When you cast an instant or sorcery, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. 2 Electrolyze, 1 blue and a red, deal 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 target creatures and or players, and then draw a card. 4 Chars, is it? Yep, 4 Chars. 2 and a red, deal 4 damage to target creature or player and 2 damage to yourself. 2 Volcanic Fallouts, 1 red, deal 2 damage to each creature and each player and it can't be countered. 2 Invoke the Firemind, blue, red, X, draw X cards or deal X damage to target creature or player. 3 Compulsive Research, which is draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a land. The computer will still discard 2 cards whether one of them's a land or not because it's bad. 1 Future Sight, 2 blue. Play with the top card of your library revealed. You may play the top card of your library. Yeah, this thing's insane. So we've got skulls, a baby in a womb, a seedling and a tree, and that's just really weird. Funky art. The 2 other creatures are Charmbreaker Devils, which are 6 mana 4/4s. At the beginning of your upkeep, return an instant or sorcery at random from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it gets +4/+0 until end of turn. And then right at the top end we have 2 opportunities, 6 mana, draw 4 cards. And this woman with the sea apparently embedded in her head. So as you can see, some ways to win but not many. But a lot of control elements. So what is not in the deck? We have a Cerebral Vortex, which is target player draws 2 cards, then takes damage equal to the number of cards he or she has drawn this turn. It's okay but not great. A Gin Illuminatus, which was the last cut I think just because it's a creature. 7 mana through a 3/5 flyer. Each instance and sorcery spell I cast has replicate. The replicate cost is equal to its mana cost. So basically I can replicate my Chars. Replicate means you can put another copy of the spell on the stack. So say I had 9 mana up and I could cast Char and then copy it twice. It's a pretty good card, but I'd need to make cuts and I'm not sure where I'd make them, to tell you the truth. Maybe the Volcanic Geyser or something like that, I'd go for it. Reigns of Power, untap all creatures you control and all creatures target's opponent controls. You and that opponent each gain control of... So basically you swap who controls creatures until end of turn. Weird. Stolen Goods, 4 mana, exile cards from the top of the library until he or she exiles a non-land card. Until end of turn you may pay that card without playing its mana cost. Jace doesn't have as many sort of super powerful spells that I can be bothered about stealing with that. Draining Whelk is a creature, but it's a 6 mana 1/1, oh dear, with flash and flying, and when it enters the battlefield, counter target spell. Put X +1/+1 counters on Draining Whelk, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. Jace's deck is cheap and fast, this is way too slow. Gather Specimens is 6 mana for an instant. If a creature would enter the battlefield under an opponent's control, it enters the battlefield under your control instead. Again, Jace's deck is small and fast. I don't want to be playing 6 mana spells. Same with Spell Twine. Again, there's no copies that are great with it, and it costs 6, so I don't want to be casting it. Spirit Away costs 7, and all of Jace's creatures are illusions, so they die before this ended up getting attached to them, because most illusions have an ability which is whenever it's targeted it dies. So this would target it, the creature would die, and then there'd be nothing for it to target, so 7 mana for a removal spell is a bit much. I'm tempted to include Banefire just as a straight up removal, straight up kill spell, because I will get to that much mana, believe me. In fact, because it has can't be countered on it, I might replace... Yeah, I'll replace Volcanic Geyser, and I'll replace... I think maybe 1 Char. Or maybe one... I'll replace an Invoke, because Jace has counter spells of his own, so cards like Invoke often become can often become a liability. Although they're great if you can force them through. 3 Breaking Point. We discussed this in the last video, how I don't like the Punisher mechanic. This one's even worse, because it's destroy all creatures, they can't be regenerated. So if your opponent has guys on the board, it just goes, how about I take 6 and then I'll kill you. So yeah, it's really not a good spell. Swerve. Red blue. Change the target of a single spell with a single target. Potentially can counter a counter spell, but yeah, not that great. Pongify turns a creature into a 3/3 green ape. Actually, because of the illusion mechanic, Pongify never resolves, so he doesn't get a 3/3 ape. Thinking. At this point, because Jace's deck is fast, I'm actually going to take out all the counter spells. You'll get to know what I mean when I'll put a Sulphurous Blast in, but I'll explain what I'm doing very shortly. Because Jace's deck is really fast and can actually keep casting its creatures, you know, if you remand it, it just plays it again the next turn. Counter spells aren't great against it, whereas Pongify will kill his creatures, and it has pretty much no downside, because the way the illusion ability works, the creature will die before Pongify resolves. And because of that, Pongify is countered upon resolution, and therefore the 3/3 green ape never happens. And if I have to kill a Lord of Illusion with it, I will, because Lord of Illusion is just that good. Anyway, where were we with this? Overwhelming Intellect is a 6 mana instant, so we're not playing it unless it says draw 4 cards on it. Counter target creature spell, draw cards equal to that spell's converted mana cost. Against a deck like the Tooth and Nail deck, the Oracle of Muldiah deck, this is incredible. You end up drawing 10 cards when they try and make an Eldrazi, but against a deck which is casting 2s, it's not that good. Browbeat, we already spoke about the Punisher mechanic, I'm not a fan of it, and there are better spells in this deck than playing that. Pillage destroys artifact or land, he doesn't have any that are worthwhile. Sulphurous Blast isn't as good as Volcanic Fallout, but I'm putting another one in just because it's removal. It deals 2 damage if I cast it as an instant, or 3 if I cast it in my main phase to all creatures, so it's just a Wrath of God basically. But with Earthquake and all the others in, I think it's fine. Peak is just a draw spell, I'm not really interested in it. Memory Lapse is a counter spell, not good against Jace's deck. Cancel is also a counter spell, not good against Jace's deck. Thoughtbind is also a counter spell, not good against Jace's deck. It looks okay, but it's it costs 3, it's too expensive. Mnemonic Wall is actually something I am tempted to play, but it's 5 mana. Let me just have a look here. Actually, take out the Sulphurous Blast and take out... I don't need 4 Char now that I've got the Pongifies as well. I am actually going to put the... Mnemonic Walls in the deck, just because I can pick... When it enters the battlefield, I can return an instant or sorcery from my graveyard to my hand, and the other ones are Kill, Feeds and Fire Blast, which... Fire Blast, it might make it, but it's not the type of deck that I want to play it in. We'll go with this and see how it goes. I have played this matchup before. It can go it can definitely go long. I'll put it where are we? We are up against Jace. But I felt it might be quite interesting for, well, I don't know how interesting it's going to be for some people, but to have a blue on blue matchup. Okay, this hand is a bit iffy, but I think I'll be okay because I'll get I draw first for 1, and I think I get the chance to get a mount in second. Okay, he makes Phantasmal Bear, which is a 2-2 for 1. When it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. This will give me the chance to test out my Pongifies. Ape. Good draw. Okay, so we'll do it now. Let's ape him. And as you can see, the illusion dies and the Pongify is still on the stack, so he doesn't end up with a 3-3. So yeah, Pongify is actually amazing in this matchup. Does he have a Lord of the Unreal? No, he doesn't. He has a Krovikan Misks, which is a 1 colours and a blue for a flyer that's power and toughness equal to the number of illusions on the battlefield, which is currently 1. So I will happily take that, and I will take this opportunity to grab a mountain from my deck. And next turn I've got both Searing Spear and Banefire up in case he casts anything that's going to be a little bit worrying for me. He's got Gossamer Phantasm, which is a 2-1 flyer for 2, and when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. The thing is that it would die if it became a target of a spell or ability anyway, I think. And a Phantasmal Bear. Wow, so he's really come out the traps. Wouldn't mind drawing a mountain. Okay, so I think I have to Searing Spear his... I Searing Spear his Krovikan Mist, because that's the thing I'm going to have most trouble dealing with. And I'm going to get a second mountain because I have Starstorm in my deck, and I might be wanting to cast that, so I'm going to give myself any land as an out, pretty much. So as you can see, Jace has a really fast deck. If I'd have let him have all these guys, he'd be killing me this turn, I think, pretty much. And he doesn't have anything, so my guess is his hand is just full of counter spells. If that's the case, I'm going to start luring some of them out. Is this okay? It is, apparently. Okay, I'm going to discard the Terramorphic Expanse because it's just not very... it's not quick enough. And I'm also going to... This is one of the things you can do with Banefire, is that you can just cast it for naught and it still targets, so that's going to take down his Phantasmal Bear. Okay, attacks for 2 with his illusion. And does he have any follow-up? No, so I'm still guessing he's got counterspells in hand. But I'm going to have to start bleeding them at some point. So I'm going to make Wee Dragonauts. He may also have Unsummon in hand as well. That's the other thing I can think of. Or just land. He could just have land. He's not attacking, so what do you got? He has Royal Elemental, which is 3-2 flying. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may gain control of target creature for as long as you control Royal Elemental. Yeah, I need a way to kill that, and fairly quickly. That'll do it. That's a little bit annoying because I would like to make Charmbreaker Devils, but I really can't have this Royal Elemental sitting around. Otherwise, it is just going to utterly destroy me in time. Especially if he's holding a counter or something similar. I'm going to skip the attack because Wee Dragonauts is doing just fine on D at the moment. Does he have anything else nasty? He has an illusionary servant, which is a 3/4 flyer for 3, and when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Okay. And I pick up another char. I'm going to say go. And I'll see how he chooses to attack. Again, char has no downside here, because it will kill his guy through targeting before it resolves, so therefore char doesn't deal 2 damage to me. Let's see what post-combat chicanery he has for me. He has Phantom Beast, which is a 4/5, and when it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. Okay, so he is now out of cards. So I can make Charmbreaker Devil. Just got to watch my life total a little bit here. Hopefully it doesn't peel on summon, that would be annoying. Oh, that's not good. That's really not good. That was the one card I could really have done without seeing. It's like that or... Oh, what do I do here? I have to block his 5/6. Oh, that's so annoying that he got that. Well, let's see what Charmbreaker Devils gets me back. Compulsive research, wonderful. Okay. I get Searing Spear, Banefire, Invoke. I think I have to discard Future Sight and Invoke, because I need the land. So let's Searing Spear his Lord of the Unreal. Actually, yeah, then we'll Banefire his 4/5. And then we'll attack for 16 with the Charmbreaker Devil. That went okay. And he didn't draw anything, so he's got to keep his spirit. He's got to keep his guy on D. And if I get back any spell which says target on it, I win. Yep, I got Char back. Cool. Let's cast Compulsive Research first, see if there's a cooler way to do it. Discard the Terramorphic. Make an island. Char his dude. Yeah, so that was looking pretty hairy there, and I think a lot of the way that I got through this was just by the illusions pretty much countering the downsides of all my removal spells. So got away with it there, and Jace goes down, but the matchups are definitely getting a little bit harder, and that one was certainly quite interesting. Next time we'll be going up against Chandra and her red deck, and so will be a very different match than what we've seen here. But hope you guys enjoyed it, guys. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe or leave a comment below. And this is Boomer for Caravel Gaming, and I'll see you next time.